Okay, I think I'm live. 1, 2, 3. If anybody's there, let me know. Hi. Okay. Just a minute. I'll go to the computer, check to see if I can see any feed from there, and then I'll come back and start doing the pirozhki. Be back. Okay. Susan, can you see if I'm there? Are you like, I'm live. Just check to see if I'm streaming. Oh, I can't. Okay, there I am. All right. We're live. And there's Stevie helping me. Okay, I'm live. Hi everybody. Whoever's watching, I'm gonna start doing the pirozhki. Okay, this is Vera. Hi. Happy New Year, everyone. And I made all these fillings, and before I start the dough rolling and things, I want to show you the actual fillings that I made. So this is the vegetarian meat filling. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get another light on. And it's basically made from like crumblies and onions, spices, and veggie meat. And let me turn the light on here. Okay, I don't know if it's better. Okay, and this guy here, this is the potato mushroom, and it has dill, of course, and it has spices, chives, or actually green onions, a little cheese, sprinklies. Okay, this is the famous cabbage. It has carrots, cabbage, I mean, it's all stewed. It has dill. It has, instead of parsley, I use cilantro. There's a red bell pepper and some other bell pepper, the yellow bell pepper. And this guy here, this is the egg, hard-boiled egg, green onion, a little cheese, spices, and dill. Of course, dill. Okay. So, I'm going to start rolling the dough, and this is, I made the dough yesterday, and it's being refrigerated overnight, and it's like a flaky pastry dough. So let me go and see if I can get it out of the refrigerator. Just a second. Okay, and here's the dough, and I have 2 batches. This is one, and I have another one, but it's going to cool in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use it, because I don't want it to melt, and the butter is going to get, the margarine buttery stuff will melt, so it's not good. Okay, be back again, because I want to make sure that this streaming thingy is actually streaming. If anybody is watching this, can you tell me if you can hear me? If you can hear me talk, can you please let me know, okay? Can you hear me? Just go to my Facebook. You should see. I'm never trying to figure that out. Okay, I think it is. I hear it. Stevie, out of the way, baby. Stevie. Okay, I think I checked the laptop, and I think I can hear myself. So then you should be able to hear me too. Okay, let's try to start the dough. All right. So this is just regular flour, and this is my brand new cutting board, yay, because I didn't have one, and I have a rolling pin. Let me get the rolling pin out. Okay, this is the rolling pin I got for just specially, and we're going to start making the dough. Actually, not making, we're going to start rolling the pirozhki. So I just put a bunch of flour here, and to get ourselves a good surface, and then I'm going to take out the dough that has been cold in the refrigerator overnight. And this dough, basically, it's just flour, water, and margarine. And I think I sprinkled like a pinch of salt, but basically that's all it is. So let me just see, let me cut it in half. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it in half just to make it a little easier. And see, this is what it looks like. And we're gonna start rolling it, yay. Okay, so here we go. And basically it should be kind of thin, but not so thin that it actually breaks. It should be able to hold the fillings. And what I do is, so this is kind of good. It's a little thick, but that's fine. Let me do it here. All right, so we're going to make little circles, and I need to find a dish that I'm going to use for circles. And I think this is a good diameter. It's not too small and not too big. So I'm going to use this, and I'm covered with flour already. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to make a little circle, and then let's see if I can get that thing out of here. And then I'm going to make another circle. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect, because seriously, it'll all be okay in the end. Okay, so I'm making the circle, and there we go. Another one here. And then another one here. And then this stuff, which is all weird sizes, I'm gonna roll again. So I'll collect it together, and then I'll roll it together to make more. So this is for a little later, in a minute. Okay, now let me actually create the first pirozhok. Let me make a nice pretty round one. Okay, so this is a little perfect circle, and let's start. How about we're gonna do, let's see, which filling are we gonna go with first? I'm gonna make cabbage. So I'm going to start with the cabbage filling. I have a whole like a cookie pan ready, and it's been oiled, so it's ready to go. But just to start assembling the pirozhki, take a nice big heaping spoon, and I'm gonna put it right in the middle. And I think I took too much, but that's okay, we'll figure it out. So what you do is you kind of bring it together. Can you guys see this? If I move it here, I don't know if the camera shows it better, but yeah. So I bring it together into a little, like a little pirozhok, and I start folding the edges. And boy, is this one overfilled. They always say the first pirozhok is a mess because you're just getting the hang of it after a while. So my first pirozhok is going to be ugly, ugly pirozhok. That's okay. And you make a thing like this. But then what you need to do is you get the edges kind of folded over, and you bring it a little bit like this, but not too much. It doesn't matter if it sticks up, but get the corners well kind of smooshed together so it's all set. See, this is one pirozhok, and it's ready to be put on the tray. So I'm gonna go over there where the tray is, because I got a really small kitchen work surface, so I can't show you everything at once. I'll bring it over later when I'm done. So I'm gonna go put this one pirozhok ready to be baked onto the cookie sheet. And as I'm at it, I forgot to preheat the oven, so I started to preheat. I just do 350 because that's good enough. Okay, here's the second circle, and we take another, where is it? We take another one, nice big chunk of thing, and we go like this. And this is again the cabbage, the carrot, onions, cilantro, dill. Of course, you gotta have dill, and some whatever spices I had. So we're making it a little triangle like that. See how cool it is? It's fun. And then we're gonna fold it over like this. The corners I need to be tucked in. And then I'm gonna do it like this. See, this is the second one, and I'm gonna put it on the tray. And don't worry, when the cookie sheet is full, I'll bring it over here so you can see. Okay, here we go. Here's the next one, and these are the little scraps that I will be re-rolling again in a minute. But anyway, okay, let's get that thing. And more of that, here's another one. And one thing I want to mention is that I like to keep the same flavor pirozhki on the same cookie sheet so you don't get confused. And then when they're done baking, they all look identical. So to tell them apart, I like to sprinkle some kind of a spice thing on top. Usually dill. The first thing I would be sprinkling. And Susan is, my guest Susan is in the other room. She's laughing at me because dill is my thing. You know, dill is how we make everything in Russia. So, okay. So here's another one. And we're going to put this guy here. And I'm making another. And let's see how much flour I can get all over me. Okay, another one. Let's make a little smaller one because it's a little hard to close them. And if you overstuff them too much, they tend to pop open during baking. So it makes a little mess. But this way, this is kind of a good, perfect size. Okay, there we go. Nice and triangle, there we go. Tuck the little corners, and you know, it kind of looks like one of those, I guess people call them Chinese dumplings, but we call them pirozhki. Okay, so I'm putting this one here. And in the meantime, the oven is heating itself. So, okay, here's another one. Okay, and I'm gonna take and boy, does this remind me of my childhood in Russia, you guys. You have no idea how fun it was. My poor mother had to cook for like all these guests who would come for New Year's Eve, because in Russia, New Year holiday is basically like Christmas and Thanksgiving rolled into one. It's a family holiday with a feast. And, you know, the people, basically people in America and Europe, whatever, they think of New Year as like a time to get drunk and, you know, ring in the New Year. In Russia, it's not. It's the family holiday, and it's completely traditional, and it's all sitting around a big table. And basically, you have a New Year's tree. Let me put this one over. Okay, and ooh, I'm making a mess here. Let me clean up this little surface because the drippings from the filling is starting to build up. So we're gonna dry this up a little and put more flour. Okay. And anyway, as I was saying, New Year's is a big, big holiday. Okay, see these things? I'm gonna re-roll them for the next. These are scraps, but I'm making it into another batch for the dough. And let's put some more flour here. And we're gonna do this. Kind of flip it like this and then start rolling so we can make more little pirozhkis out of them. And anyway, as I was saying, New Year's Eve is huge because it's a family holiday, and you put up the tree right before it, and all the kids get presents under the tree at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve in Russia. And so it's like completely more exciting than like you would think a Christmas gift giving thing. You have to wait for the stroke of midnight. And usually, like, the parents tell you that it's Grandfather Frost is the person who brings the presents. You can't forget. I know. There's my friend Susan. Yeah, Grandfather Frost is basically like Santa Claus, but he's really not. He's like a sort of like a pagan, the epitome of winter. And so Grandfather Frost, make another one here. Yeah, Grandfather Frost has also a helper, and her name is the Snow Girl. So she's like a little girl. They're both dressed in these fur coats that are winter white. And then what happens is he brings sometimes the actual tree and the presents. Oops, too much here, too much. So he brings the presents and it goes under the tree, but the kids kind of look at the tree and they're not there. So usually the parents try to hide them and somehow they manage to get the presents under the tree at the stroke of midnight. And then in the meantime, the whole family is gathered around a big table and we feast, and we have to basically around 10 p.m. on New Year's Eve, you eat to say goodbye to the old year. So what you do is you drink and eat a little bit at 10 p.m. Let me put this here. All right. And let's use these in a moment, but I'm going to roll a new one. So on the 10 o'clock you eat all these things, and usually what you do is you make a toast, like, you know, to the old year, and then at around midnight, usually right after you actually greet the new year, you have a toast, and then you sit down, you eat the big meal. So everybody eats a really big meal at 1 p.m. I mean 1 a.m. And it's kind of really interesting because people stay up late, but they don't really get drunk. Of course, everybody drinks a little bit, but it's not a drinking part. It's not a party for drinking. It's a family meal. Okay, so I'm making more here. Let's see, and what else? Oh, let me see if I can come up with. Oh, you get the New Year's decorations. They can stay up late, and because it's really just like a New Year's, the tree means like the winter tree, so it's an old pagan tradition. And then what else? And you can if you were gonna do Russian Christmas is based on a different calendar. It's an older calendar, so it actually comes on January like 6th or 7th. I forget which one. And I think in like Latin countries, like in Spain or something, I think they celebrate the Day of the Three Kings or the Three Mages, but it's the Russian or the Orthodox Christmas. So that's in January. But this stuff is all this is all New Year's. So, okay, here we go. Another batch. We're almost done. There's room for like 2 more on the cookie sheet. And let me put these things, and then I'll start, just for fun, after I'm done with this cookie sheet, I'll start a different filling, so you guys can see how I do the other fillings. Okay, so this is still cabbage. We're doing cabbage because that's the big, the main filling. Okay. And getting a little mushy, but that's okay. It'll stick together. You kind of cover it up. If it starts to drip, you know, usually you try to make fillings that are not too runny. If they start to drip a little, that's okay. But just kind of pinch the edges and then put more dough on top. It doesn't matter. There you go, another one. All right, see? And there's Stevie walking around going, what's going on? Where's my food? Because he wants to eat. But I got to do these first. Oh, yeah. Oh, here's another thing about New Year. I think I mentioned this on Facebook, that basically you have to do all these things on New Year's Eve. Things that you want to accomplish in the coming year, you have to do a little bit of it during this day. So if people rush like crazy trying to, like, you know, like in Russia, they would go to the bathhouses in the old days. And that was a big deal. Like, you clean up for the new year. And like, you do laundry, you clean things. And of course, like, I want to be writing a lot this year, so I got to get some writing in later today before the clock strikes midnight. So that's the thing. I got to get it in. Okay, let's see. We got this. And we're almost done with that cookie sheet, and then I'll start the other filling. Hold on. So this one didn't drip. That's good. So I'm going to put that here. Oh my God, Stevie's being cute. Stevie, are you, he's lying on his back with his little feet up. Look at him. He's lying like a little dummy. He's so adorable.
Okay. You're the cutest thing in the world.
Yes, he is. Okay, here we go. Here we go, another one. Getting all mushed up, and all this nice, yummy, drippy filling is dripping all over the kitchen.
We're gonna have Pirozhki.
Oh my God, it's like, well, I think I mentioned earlier, I started to run out of dill, and that was like a disaster.
No!
Because you can't run out of dill. I have dill, and everything here has dill. You guys have no idea. I mean, I was covered with dill. My body was covered with my hair. I had like dill snowfall. And there's more in the refrigerators, but I still have some in the what do you call it? Those little jars of spices. So if I run out, I can try that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, one more, and then we're gonna put the tray in the oven. So, and oven is a word I have problems pronouncing in English. Oven, I cannot say it very well. So oven.
Oven.
Seriously, it's one of there's several words in English I cannot say, and this is one of them. This is ridiculous. Okay, one more, and then we do another filling. Oh, perfect timing! I heard the little beep from the stove. I mean the oven, that tells me that it's ready and it's heated. All right, so this guy, actually I could have filled this one more. This is underfilled. Bad Vera, bad. She didn't fill the Pirozhki with enough dough. This one has more dough than filling. Not a good deal, not a good deal. Let's pinch them together and make sure it's safe. Okay, so putting it here. Okay, and let me bring the tray over. Okay, bringing the tray over. See, this is the cookie sheet. See what they look like? And it's a greased sheet, and I'm going to stick it in the oven for about 10 minutes. So let me go ahead and put that in. And opening it up, sticking that in. And we have a little timer. So, okay, here's my little dumb timer. It's like a little chicken clucking noise. And then I do it, and I set it for 10 minutes because I think it's 10 minutes. But, you know, when I asked my mom how long, she goes, I don't know, just look at it. Does it look ready? I don't know, just look at it. So that's what I did too, but I like giving myself 10 minutes not to look at it. Okay, so here we go, 10 minutes, covered with dough. I'm starting to be completely covered with dough. Here, this is not good. Okay, let's start, just to be fun. So that batch was cabbage. Let's do the veggie meat next, okay? So
Which
here
is the
we
next
go.
one?
The veggie meat right here. This is the this is like the crumblies, and it's like onions, dill. Dill,
of course.
Because you gotta have dill. Okay, let me get this. Let me wash my hands, you guys. You really don't want me to do this. Oh God. Okay.
If I sit in the other room, you're in stereo with the time delay.
Okay. Now let's get another spoon because I do need this spoon. Okay, this is a little spoon, but screw it. It's only spoon. Okay, so this is going to be the vegetarian meat. And in Russia, this would have been like ground beef. So you can do whatever you like. But here we go. And it has onions. It's been sort of sauteed. And if you like, you can sprinkle more cheese on it. Today I'm doing a completely more traditional one. So I'm putting a little cheese and stuff, but not too much, because Russians actually don't really add that, like they don't have the tradition of having cheese-filled things as much. Like any cheese you would have is like cottage cheese and it's sweet. So that's a different type of thing. Okay, let me get another cookie sheet ready. So this is the first meat one, and I forgot to get a cookie sheet. Let's get that out.
You know, come to think of it, when I was in Poland.
Okay, here's another cookie sheet. Oops. Noise, thunder, and lightning, cookie sheet. Okay, let me go grease it with a little margarine, and I'll be right back here. Okay. Okay, and this is kind of funny. I just want to show you. Okay, some people are nice and neat. This is how I grease the freaking cookie sheet. Well, in Russia, it would actually even be worse, because you take a soft margarine stick, and you would use just like the paper from it. So you would use paper to grease the cookie sheets with. You never actually use real grease because you didn't have enough. So you're like, you know, let me just use the leftover, the several molecular layers of butter. So here we go. Now, greasing the sheet, Russian style. There we go. All right. And put the butter back here. Okay, time for more dough. What do you call it? More flour.
Flour.
Yay! Let me just take a shower in this stuff. It's like hot. Okay, covered everything. Throw it around, put it here. Dust the surface. Okay, so pirozhok number 1 is ready. And I'm going to go put him on the tray, and I'll start a new roll out. Okay.
Now, the only place in Eastern Europe that I've been is Poland.
Okay, here are scraps that I get to roll out. And that's Susan telling me, what about Poland?
And the only place in Eastern Europe, and I remember that they didn't, besides the fact that the only vegetable they had was 75 different kinds of coleslaw, was, you were right, they didn't have cheese sauces.
Well, cheese sauces are not a thing. It's just not a Russian thing. And I mean, believe me, when I came to America, I said, this stuff is great. I love cheese sauces, but I just didn't have
That's not
it's not a thing.
That's not an Eastern European thing, so it's not Russian, Poland.
Okay, so this is going to be a slightly ugly pirozhok because it's made from scraps. Because what I did, I took the corners and stuff and I re-rolled it. But that's okay. Let me do this more. Get some more, because not too thin. It's better to have it a little too thick than too thin, because then it's going to fall apart if it's too thin. Okay, some more meat. Not meat. It's vegetarian. Oop. Oh, no, I forgot to circle. There we go. Make a circle. I just dumped the whole thing. I am tired, you guys. My brain is not working right. I'm like, what is this going on? Okay. Here's another one. And this is good enough. So we got 3 more pirozhki shapes. And they're kind of weird. They're not perfectly round. Who cares? Nobody will know when you... This is how I make. This is how Russians cook. We're like, screw this stuff. Just make something. Okay. So we got stuff. And okay, let's put the little meat fillings. Put this more. Because it's got to be more. The more, the tastier. But no, if it's too much, then you can't close it. So you have to watch it. Okay, so there we go. See how it is? I have to kind of pinch it again. See if I can close this guy up. And if it's not closing, that's okay. You stick more dough on top. My mom used to do this. Like she'd break a pirozhok and she goes, hey, bring me more dough. So I should take a big chunk and just cover it. So it's okay. There we go. We now pinch. Corners. This is an ugly one. It's an ugly ass pirozhok. But that's okay. We'll eat it. It'll taste great anyway. Okay, putting it on the thing. Okay, let's see. What else we got here? What else? All right. Let's see. This guy here. Let's put some more. Let me try to think of any other traditions. Yeah. For New Year's, you got to get that tree and it's all completely... Oh, this is fun. Okay, when I was a kid, my dad would bring the tree. Sometimes he'd cobble it together, because like in Russia, in the USSR, they ran out of things all the time. So you'd go to the trees and they would have none. So my dad would like pick up branches and make a tree from scraps. So it's like, and he'd bring and he like build it in the house. Anyway, so my dad would bring the tree, and then usually on the day or like a day before something. Oh, and then we would light it up, but back in those days, they didn't have electric lights. You know how you have Christmas lights? Boy, oh boy, that would have been a luxury. We used actual real candles. Can you believe it? We would have these little pinch-on things, and they have candles, and my father would like really carefully make sure there's no fire hazard, and then the whole family would like tremble in terror because we're like terrified of fire. But we would go around with the match, and my dad would carefully light the candles that are clipped onto each branch, and then we stand around the tree like in a defensive position. So for about 15 to 10 minutes, the tree would be lit up, and it would be gorgeous in candlelight. And then my mother's like, enough! I'm gonna have a heart attack. I can't deal with the stress. Take that fire out. Put it out. So my parents will put out the fire, but we get the firecrackers. Oh my God, I gotta talk about the firecrackers. Okay. All right, let's continue making these. All right, black too much. We would have New Year's, there would be like fireworks. Obviously everybody has fireworks, but we would have firecrackers in the house. And I don't know what we did. My dad and my cousins, they would bring firecrackers, and they're like little sticks. I don't know what you call them in English, but they're little things.
Were they the sparklers?
Sparklers, yes, thank you.
Okay, those are
Yes.
safer than firecrackers.
Well, no, we also had fire. I mean, they had everything. So, and then we would like wave them around. And again, for safety reasons, because my parents were like scared, they're like, turn the lights off, do this, stand in the middle of the room, start make us around, and then you can turn on the firecracker or the whatever. Okay, here's goes another one. All right, and it's going to be. Now, oh, I see. I need to get, you know what? I didn't make enough dough, so I'm going to run out. Boy, oh boy. Well, I'm going to have to do this. When I run out of dough, I'm going to stop this thing, and then you guys can, like, imagine that I have more. But let me get the second batch, okay? So let me get out the second batch from the refrigerator. Okay, where is my second batch? There we go. Okay. All right. So here's my second batch.
So did you make this yesterday?
I made this yesterday because I knew I was going to be dead today. So there's just no way you can make. I mean, we would have the miracle. Okay, that's the alarm for the 10-minute timer. So let me before I proceed, let me go check the pirozhki in the oven and make sure they're not burned.
No, they're not even brown.
Okay, do they look a little rosy brown? They should be slightly. No. Okay, actually, don't do this. What you want to do is close it and turn the light on, like this. So then you can. Oh yeah, they're not even close. You know what? This is ridiculous. How many minutes? My mom would say, "Oh, just keep checking, just keep checking." So we're gonna set it for another 10 minutes. I think that'll do it. Actually, no, I'm scared.
So set it for 5.
5. I'll set it for 5, and then we'll check.
Because
okay, there we go. 5
just as it hit the right time, the right heat.
Okay.
So it could have been a little behind.
All right, time to roll the second batch. And here we go. Okay, put this guy aside here. Start rolling the baby. There we go. It's nice and cold. See, if you don't keep it cold, the butter or the margarine, whatever you're using, is gonna melt, and it's not gonna make good dough. So it needs to be cold.
It won't be as fluffy.
Fluffy. Okay, here we go.
We should get sparklers.
Oh no, I'm not getting sparklers. I'm too old for this.
No, we'll take them outside and put them on the grass where they're safe.
Okay, here we go. Okay, listen now. This one can go a little more. All right, here we go. A little more out there.
I'll be back there in a second.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. There we go. And I may have to make another batch, but let's what I do is one cookie sheet at a time. So with the whatever type that I'm making, filling is going to be 1 cookie sheet full. So let me do this, finish up this meat, fake meat. Okay, here we go. And take these guys aside because they're going to be scraps re-rolled. All right, take this guy, put more meat. Yay. There we go, nice and, there we go. Then I'm gonna do this. And I'm trying to remember any other fun traditions we used to do. Yeah, all the hectic stuff you have to do on New Year's Eve before the clock strikes. Otherwise it's like bad luck. You'll be like, if you have a lot of dirty laundry or something, you'd be doing laundry all year or something. So you gotta just make sure that you do things that you want to be doing for the next year. Right. And here's another one. There we go. Oh my God, and when we have guests over, like they would come, and like I said, around evening, the family would start coming. So like all my uncles and aunts and aunties and cousins and my poor mother would be running around like insane. And she was a teacher, so she still had to work, and like then she'd come back and still do all the cooking. And I would help as much as I can, but I was like a little dumb little girl, just a kid. But I could do I call it the chop dough. This dough, we didn't have any food processors, so it's all by hand. So you go chop for like an hour, and that's how we made it. All right, here we go more. And that sheet is getting close to full with pirozhkis. There we go. after this one, I'm going to start the mushroom. But if I run out, I'm just going to make another batch. I may have to stop the feed because you guys got the idea, you know. But let me just finish as much as I got here, and then you guys can listen to me ramble like a fool. Here we go. And the sunshine is here. Sunny. All right. And another one. And another little, oh, this one's going to be good. I'll make this kind of a big one. Sometimes you can roll them out a little more. You see if they're too thick. And then you can really pile on the fillings. There we go. So I'm going to overstuff this guy. Here we go. Stick it down. Close it up. Do a little do. Here we go. Do. Okay. Here we go. Nice and filled. And then, okay, we got, let's see, I can fit in, okay. I'm going to start rolling this one. Oh, let me go check that other, what do you call it? To make sure that it's not burning the pirozhki. All right, let's go check. And let's take a look. Okay, nope, still no. So it looks like with this at 350 degrees, I should have turned it up a little bit, but I'm afraid I don't want to burn them because, again, we don't know. We just like use whatever. So I'll let it go for another 5 minutes until. So setting that timer. So now it's already 10 minutes. So this is another 5. Actually, no, it's 15. Okay. Roll this guy out. And I'm gonna add the scraps later on in the other roller. I'm gonna fill this. I'm gonna add the dough, the flour, so it doesn't stick too much. And this is a nice rolling pin. I used to just use bottles because, you know, we didn't have a rolling pin for a long time. So here we go. All right. And let's see, where's our little circle maker? Okay. One here. And another here. And again, they don't have to be perfect because, hey, who cares? As long as they cover up the stuff and it's all good. All right. Boy, I really should have made more dough. I didn't think this is going to be like, all right. Because I got so much. I'll be making this filling, because this can go in the refrigerator. It's not going to go bad. It'll be fine, because I'll be making more pirozhki over the week. So here we go. I'm pinching some of these guys here. Because if they start opening, it's best to pinch them when you can. Because otherwise they will be, you know, they'll start leaking the stuff. Here's another one. And covering it up. Trying to stick all the inside stuff, keep it in. Yay, yay, yay. I'll pinch it in. There we go. Okay. Now the second cookie sheet is ready, but I'm going to see if the other ones are done or close to done. Okay, almost done. Some of them are starting to turn slightly rosy, so it's like they're not supposed to be brown. They're supposed to be just they're off-white with a little like beige tint. So that's how they're done. So it's getting there. It's almost, I had to set another timer. Because, I mean, they're just not done. Okay, I'm going to need to, let's see, should I wait? Anyway, you guys, you got the idea. I think I'm going to turn it off because I need to make more dough. I don't have another cookie sheet. I think maybe I have another, but anyway. So I only have 3 more pirozhkis, but I have no room on that tray. And after I finish this, I will do the mushroom and onion. Mushroom, potato, and onion, and then the egg. So, and it'll be fun. And what I'll try to do is, instead of going live again, I'm just going to take a picture so you guys can just see what it looks like in the end. So, I'll take plenty of pictures. And so, anyway. Happy New Year! Hope you enjoyed my silly little New Year, pirozhki thing. So, I will see you guys later. Bye! I'm going to... Okay, let me do this and see if I can, without making my Kindle all dirty.